Oh my gosh, my face is on fire right now.
Divers have always been drawn to the ocean's beauty, but sometimes curiosity turns deadly. From Mick Fanning's violent shark encounter,
I saw the whole thing just thrashing around, but I was getting dragged under by my leg rope.
to Jeremy Wade's catfish attack.
Ow! That's just dug its spine right in the back of my hand.
These are 15 haunting times divers messed with the wrong ocean animals, starting with Henri Bourse's pioneering final film. The history of underwater cinematography is filled with pioneers who risked their lives to capture the ocean's beauty. But few stories are as tragic as that of Henri Bourse, an Australian diver and filmmaker whose quest to document great white sharks ultimately cost him his leg in 1964. Henri Bourse was ahead of his time in many ways. His work was groundbreaking, providing some of the first close-up footage of great white sharks in their natural environment. But here's the thing, the equipment available in 1964 was bulky, unreliable, and required divers to get much closer to their subjects. This method inherently increases the risks involved in filming dangerous marine life. The attack on Bourse occurred off the coast of South Australia, in waters known for their great white shark populations. Bourse was actively filming when the attack happened, making this one of the few shark attacks in history to be partially captured on camera by the victim. The great white shark attacked him swiftly and brutally, demonstrating the incredible power and efficiency of great white sharks as predators. The shark bit Bourse's left leg, severing it below the knee with a single bite. Great white sharks possess triangular, serrated teeth that are perfectly designed for cutting through flesh and bone, and their bite force can exceed 4,000 pounds per square inch. The combination of this incredible pressure and razor-sharp teeth made Bourse's injuries immediately life-threatening. Despite the severity of his injuries, Bourse managed to reach the surface. His dive team, recognizing the seriousness of the situation, worked frantically to get him out of the water and provide emergency medical care. In the end, Bourse lost his leg to the deadly attack. Henri's story showed how dangerous the ocean can be, and even years later, another most famous wildlife expert faced a tragic ending of his own. Steve Irwin's final fatal encounter. No discussion of marine animal encounters would be complete without acknowledging one of the most shocking and widely publicized incidents in recent memory, the death of Steve Irwin, the beloved Australian wildlife expert known worldwide as the crocodile hunter. Irwin's tragic encounter with a stingray in 2006 sent shockwaves through the wildlife conservation community. His final adventure took place on September 4, 2006, in the crystal-clear waters of Bat Reef near Port Douglas, Queensland, Australia. While filming in Australia's Great Barrier Reef, Steve Irwin was stung in the chest by a stingray's venomous barb, leading to his death. What made this incident particularly tragic was that it occurred during what should have been a routine filming session for a documentary about ocean conservation, something that has been Irwin's lifelong passion. The stingray involved in this fatal encounter was likely a short-tailed stingray, one of the larger species of rays that inhabit Australian waters. These magnificent creatures can grow to impressive sizes, with wingspans reaching up to 14 feet and weights exceeding 750 pounds. Despite their size, stingrays are generally docile creatures that prefer to avoid confrontation. This made Irwin's death all the more shocking to those who knew these animals' typical behavior patterns. The attack itself was swift and devastating. The stingray likely reacted defensively when Irwin swam too close while attempting to capture footage. Stingrays possess a defensive weapon that has evolved over millions of years, a serrated, venomous barb located on their tail that can deliver both physical trauma and toxic venom. When threatened or cornered, these animals can whip their tails with incredible speed and accuracy, turning their barb into a deadly weapon. What made Irwin's encounter particularly fatal was the location of the strike. The stingray's barb penetrated his chest near his heart, causing massive internal trauma, combined with the effects of the venom. Steve's shocking death wasn't the only time humans underestimated the power of marine life. This next diver's final encounter with her favorite animal proved just as devastating. The Dawn Branchot tragedy. The death of Dawn Branchot at SeaWorld Orlando in 2010 represents one of the most significant and well-documented cases of a marine mammal fatally attacking a human in an aquatic environment. Dawn Branchot was a senior trainer at SeaWorld Orlando, with years of experience working with marine mammals and a genuine love for the orcas under her care. On February 24, 2010, she was performing in the Dine with Shamu show with Tilikum, a 12,000-pound male orca who had been in captivity for most of his life. The show had concluded normally, and Branchot was in the shallow water area of the tank, engaging in what appeared to be routine post-show interactions with the massive marine mammal. While this spectacle unfolded, what happened next shocked the audience and sent ripples throughout the marine mammal training community. Tilikum suddenly grabbed Branchot by her ponytail and pulled her underwater, holding her down in what witnesses described as a violent and sustained attack. The orca's immense strength and size made any rescue attempt impossible, and despite the efforts of other trainers and emergency responders, Branchot drowned and suffered severe blunt force trauma, including a severed spinal cord and multiple broken bones. Now, this wasn't Tilikum's first involvement in a human death. The massive orca had a documented history of aggression, having been linked to 2 previous fatalities. In 1991, Tilikum was involved in the death of trainer Kelty Byrne at Sealand of the Pacific in Canada, and in 1999, a man named Daniel P. Dukes was found dead in Tilikum's tank after apparently entering the enclosure after hours. This history of aggression was well known within the marine park industry, yet Tilikum continued to be used in shows and breeding programs. The reasons behind Tilikum's aggressive behavior are complex, and even to date, no one has been able to discover the real cause of the attack.
There was no food left. She kept asking him for more and more behaviors. He wasn't getting reinforced for the behaviors that he was doing correctly.
While Dawn's death came at a marine park, other dangers wait in the open ocean, like the terrifying moments 2 divers faced a great white shark head-on. The Great White Shark Attack. In July 1975, the Pacific Ocean became the scene of 2 terrifying shark encounters that happened just days apart. Within 5 days, 2 divers, Gary Johnson and Rob Rebstock, came face to face with one of the ocean's deadliest predators, the great white shark. These events, which happened only a few kilometers apart, puzzled shark experts for decades. Shark attacks on divers were already known to be more common than attacks on swimmers or surfers. In fact, nearly half of all shark attacks along the Pacific coast of North America involved divers, and in most cases, the attacker was a great white shark. On July 19, 1975, Gary Johnson, a 34-year-old commercial abalone diver, went diving off the coast of California. He wore a black wetsuit, mask, fins, and used an air supply line called a hookah line. As he began collecting abalone, he noticed seals nearby, unaware that a great white shark had also noticed them. While prying abalone from under a ledge, Johnson suddenly felt something grab and shake his fin. He turned to see a massive great white shark, around 5 to 6 meters long. The shark released his fin but began circling him, coming dangerously close several times. Johnson tried to keep his eyes on it as it made 5 passes before finally swimming away. He survived unharmed, though his fin had deep slices from the shark's teeth. Just 5 days later, on July 23rd, sports diver Rob Rebstock set out with friends for a dive at Point Conception. They had actually run into Johnson earlier that day, who warned them about the shark, but despite the warning, they continued their dive. As Rebstock entered the water, a great white shark suddenly attacked. With incredible force, it struck him and bit into his left leg, lifting both man and shark out of the water before crashing back down. His friends watched in horror as blood filled the sea. Somehow, Rebstock managed to break free and swim back to the boat. His friends pulled him aboard and rushed him to the hospital. He survived, but was left with deep wounds and tooth punctures that clearly matched a great white shark. Experts believed the same shark might have attacked both Johnson and Rebstock, since great whites are known to patrol the same area for days or weeks at a time. Like Johnson and Rebstock, this next diver nearly lost his life to a shark attack. Mick Fanning's shark encounter. Mick Fanning's shark encounter remains one of the most shocking and unforgettable moments in surfing history. It happened on July 19, 2015, during the final of the J-Bay Open in Jeffreys Bay, South Africa, which is part of the World Surf League Championship Tour. Fanning, a 3-time world champion from Australia, was facing fellow countryman Julian Wilson when the terrifying scene unfolded live on television. As Fanning was waiting for a wave, viewers suddenly saw a large fin and a splash behind him. Within seconds, the shark attacked his surfboard, knocking him off balance. Fanning later explained that he felt something pulling on his leg rope, which is the leash that connects a surfer to the board.
I saw the whole thing just thrashing around, but I was getting dragged under by my leg rope.
His instincts kicked in, and he punched the shark on its back to defend himself. The leash snapped in the chaos, leaving him separated from his board, but free from the animal's grip. The entire beach and audience watched in horror, and Julian Wilson, showing incredible bravery, immediately paddled toward Fanning to help. Rescue jet skis reached the scene within moments and pulled both surfers out of the water. Incredibly, Fanning escaped without a single bite wound, only a torn leash and a huge scare. Sharks are the ocean's most feared hunters, but they aren't the only threat. The beluga whale attack. On August 14, 2025, at the Chengdu Haichang Polar Ocean Park in Sichuan, China, a startling event took place inside an aquarium tank. A beluga whale, typically known for its gentle and curious nature, suddenly lunged toward two divers, causing fear among the spectators who watched nearby. The moment was captured on video and quickly spread online. The footage shows the whale moving fast toward a female diver, biting at her legs as she swam away in alarm. Shortly afterward, the whale turned its attention to a male diver who was holding a camera. The whale managed to grip his flippers for a moment and even made a second bite attempt, but it eventually let go and swam away. Despite how scary it looked, both divers escaped completely unharmed. People watching through the glass were terrified. Screams and gasps filled the viewing area as the audience witnessed the sudden and unpredictable behavior. Beluga whales are known to be social and intelligent animals. They are often curious about humans and may approach them calmly. However, experts say that in captivity, when whales feel stressed or threatened, they might act aggressively. This kind of behavior is more likely in confined environments, similar to the one in this incident. While these divers' scare was bad enough, this next encounter proved that even lesser-known fish can nearly end a life. Bill Ziefel's nighttime nightmare with a spearfish. Night diving opens up an entirely different world beneath the waves. The ocean transforms after dark, revealing nocturnal creatures and behaviors that daylight divers never witness. But this magical transformation comes with increased risks, as Bill Ziefel, a member of Divers Alert Network, DAN, discovered during what should have been a routine night dive. Bill's encounter with danger came not from a creature he sought out or disturbed, but from an unexpected attack that demonstrates how quickly the ocean can turn hostile. During a night dive, Bill was speared in the leg by a 5-foot-long spearfish, which left a piece of its rostrum lodged in his leg. The rostrum, which is the sword-like extension of a spearfish's upper jaw, is designed by nature to be a perfect weapon, and in this case, it nearly became Bill's undoing. The attack occurred with no warning, which is typical for spearfish encounters. These sleek predators are built for speed and precision, capable of swimming at incredible velocities and striking with devastating force. The attack occurred unexpectedly, likely due to the spearfish mistaking Bill for prey or reacting to the dive light in low visibility conditions. Spearfish attacks are particularly dangerous because of the weapon they carry, which is the rostrum. Additionally, when a 5-foot spearfish traveling at high speed makes contact, the force is tremendous. The fact that a piece of the rostrum broke off and remained lodged in Bill's leg illustrates just how violent this encounter was. Bill survived but required medical attention to remove the rostrum and treat the wound. Bill's brush with danger was shocking, yet even a simple catfish can turn deadly when provoked. The catfish encounter. When we think about catfish, many of us imagine slow-moving, bottom-feeding fish, but not all catfish fit that description. In the wild, there exists a unique species known as the sorrel bee catfish. Unlike its sluggish relatives, this fish is athletic, streamlined, and an active hunter. Its sharp fins and quick movements make it very different from the gentle image most people carry of catfish. One day, while studying this fascinating creature, Jeremy Wade had a surprising encounter.
So this is a sorrel bee. This is a predatory catfish. The thing about this fish for me is, it's a catfish, but it's a very athletic, streamlined catfish. It's a catfish that hunts actively. So it's got quite spiky fins, so to be careful.
At first, he admired the fish closely, pointing out its strong, spiky fins and warning himself to handle it carefully. But in a sudden moment, the unexpected happened. The catfish kicked, and its sharp pectoral spine stabbed him right in the back of his hand. Shocked by the pain, he cried out, realizing how quickly things had turned.
Ow! That's just dug its spine right in the back of my hand. That went right, oh my God. I've handled these fish actually like loads of times before. This is the first time I've been stabbed by one of these. It kicked, and that was its pectoral spine going in the back of my hand.
Although he had handled this species many times before, this was the first time he had been injured by one. The pain was real and immediate, but fortunately, the catfish's spines were not venomous. This meant that while the injury hurt, it was not life-threatening. Now, while this catfish incident was frightening, this next story showed how even a bottom dweller can strike without warning. The Wobbegong attack. Learning to scuba dive involves mastering numerous skills, from equipment management to underwater navigation, but perhaps the most critical skill is buoyancy control, the ability to maintain your position in the water column without sinking to the bottom or floating to the surface. A diver who was exploring the Australian waters learned this lesson the hard way when poor buoyancy control led to an unexpected and dangerous encounter with one of the ocean's most well-camouflaged predators. During what should have been a routine training dive designed to build confidence and skills, the diver encountered a life-threatening scenario. He encountered a Wobbegong shark, one of Australia's most unique and well-camouflaged predatory fish. Wobbegongs are masters of disguise, with intricate patterns and fleshy appendages that make them virtually indistinguishable from the rocky reef environment they call home. These sharks spend much of their time motionless on the ocean floor, waiting for unsuspecting prey to come within striking distance. The Wobbegong's response to being suddenly disturbed by the diver was swift and predictable. It bit the diver in a defensive reaction. Now, the shark bite itself wasn't the greatest danger the diver faced in this incident. It was the shock and pain of being bitten by a shark. This caused the diver to panic, leading to a rapid, uncontrolled ascent toward the surface. If the Wobbegong attack was scary, this next incident takes that fear even further. The blue-ringed octopus's deceptive beauty. Among the ocean's most deceptively dangerous creatures, few can match the lethal potential of the blue-ringed octopus, a small but incredibly venomous cephalopod that has been responsible for at least 3 confirmed human deaths, including divers who were deceived by its small size and beautiful appearance. These tiny creatures, measuring only 5 to 9 inches across, pack enough venom to kill an adult human within hours, making them one of the most dangerous animals in the ocean relative to their size. The blue-ringed octopus is found throughout the Indo-Pacific region, particularly in tide pools and shallow reef areas where divers and snorkelers frequently explore. Their small size and stunning appearance make them incredibly attractive to underwater photographers and curious divers who don't realize they're observing one of nature's most efficient killers. When threatened, these octopuses display their namesake blue rings in a warning pattern that serves as nature's way of saying, "Stay away." But many people don't recognize this signal for what it is. In an undocumented case from Australia, a diver encountered a blue-ringed octopus while exploring a shallow reef area. Attracted by what appeared to be a small, harmless creature with beautiful coloration, the diver picked up the octopus, unaware of the deadly neurotoxin it carried. The octopus, feeling threatened by being handled, delivered a bite that injected tetrodotoxin directly into the diver's system. Tetrodotoxin is one of nature's most potent neurotoxins, blocking sodium channels in nerve cells and effectively shutting down the nervous system's ability to transmit signals. As the toxin spreads through the victim's system, it paralyzes the muscles responsible for breathing, leading to respiratory failure, while the victim remains fully conscious and aware of what's happening. What makes blue-ringed octopus envenomation particularly terrifying is that there is no antivenom available. Once the toxin enters the bloodstream, the only treatment is supportive care, primarily artificial respiration to keep the victim alive until the toxin is naturally metabolized by their body. This process can take 24 hours or more, during which time the victim may be completely paralyzed but fully aware of their surroundings. In some cases, the octopus may use other defense mechanisms, like strangulation, to harm their victims. While the octopus is terrifying enough, this next story proves that even a seashell can deliver a fatal blow. The geography cone's deadly harpoon. The cone snail family includes some of the ocean's most sophisticated biological weapons, and none is more deadly than the geography cone snail, responsible for approximately 30 human deaths worldwide. These seemingly innocent mollusks have perfected a hunting mechanism that rivals any human-designed weapon in its efficiency and lethality, making them one of the most dangerous creatures a diver can encounter. Cone snails are found throughout tropical and subtropical waters, with the geography cone being particularly common in the Indo-Pacific region, where many diving destinations are located. Their shells are genuinely beautiful, featuring intricate geometric patterns that make them highly sought after by shell collectors and casual beachcombers alike. This aesthetic appeal, combined with their relatively common occurrence in shallow reef areas, creates frequent opportunities for deadly encounters with unsuspecting humans. In a documented case that illustrates the deadly potential of these creatures, a diver exploring a coral reef environment encountered what appeared to be an empty, ornate shell sitting on the sandy bottom. The shell's beautiful coloration and perfect condition made it irresistible, and the diver picked it up without realizing that it was inhabited by one of nature's most efficient killers. In an instant, the geography cone snail, responding to being handled, deployed its sophisticated hunting mechanism against what it perceived as a threat. Now, the cone snail's weapon system is remarkably advanced, consisting of a hollow, harpoon-like tooth that can be fired from the snail's proboscis with incredible accuracy and force. This biological harpoon is loaded with conotoxin, a complex mixture of neurotoxins that has evolved specifically to paralyze prey instantly. When the harpoon penetrates the victim's skin, it delivers its deadly payload directly into the bloodstream, beginning a process that can lead to death within hours. One of the most fascinating things about the cone snail is its ability to remain hidden within its shell. Unlike obviously dangerous animals that display warning colors or aggressive postures, cone snails appear to be nothing more than empty shells until they're handled. Their ability to remain motionless for extended periods means that even careful observation urchin may not reveal their presence before someone picks up what they assume is a harmless shell. While the cone snail kills with stealth, this next animal uses sharp spines to defend itself, and divers who get too close pay the price. The lionfish's venomous defense. In 2021, a diver participating in lionfish culling operations in the Caribbean learned firsthand about the painful and dangerous nature of these beautiful but deadly fish when a routine spearfishing expedition went wrong. Lionfish are native to the Indo-Pacific but have established devastating populations throughout the Caribbean and Western Atlantic after being introduced through the aquarium trade. Their lack of natural predators in these waters, combined with their voracious appetite and rapid reproduction, has made them an ecological nightmare that threatens native fish populations and coral reef ecosystems.
Damn, man down. Man down, brother. Man down. Captain Jack, man. Lost his hand. Lionfish got him. They don't only have a hook.
Earlier in 2025, a diver in the Caribbean was stung by a lionfish. The incident occurred when the diver was handling multiple speared lionfish, a common practice during culling operations where divers attempt to remove as many fish as possible during a single dive. Lionfish hunting requires divers to get relatively close to their targets, and this significantly increases the chances of accidental contact with the venomous spines that make these fish so dangerous. Lionfish possess 18 venomous spines, 13 along the dorsal fin, 2 on the pelvic fins, and 3 on the anal fin, each capable of delivering a painful and potentially dangerous dose of venom. These spines are not just sharp, they're hollow and connected to venom glands that inject toxins designed to cause intense pain and tissue damage. The venom serves as an effective defense mechanism against predators, but it can cause serious medical complications in humans who are accidentally stung. While the lionfish may look beautiful and deadly, it is nothing compared to the invisible danger lurking in Indonesian waters. Indonesian waters' invisible threat. The tropical waters of Indonesia offer some of the world's most spectacular diving opportunities, with incredible biodiversity and crystal-clear visibility that attracts divers from around the globe. However, these same pristine conditions can harbor nearly invisible threats that can turn a perfect dive into a medical emergency. A diver in Indonesia suffered a severe jellyfish sting, likely from a box jellyfish, causing intense pain and numbness.
Ow! Oh my gosh, my face is on fire right now.
Box jellyfish are among the most venomous creatures on Earth, with some species capable of killing a human within minutes of contact. Their transparent bodies make them virtually impossible to spot in the water, earning them a reputation as invisible killers that can strike without warning. The incident occurred in typical tropical diving conditions where visibility was excellent and the water was warm and inviting. These are precisely the conditions that box jellyfish prefer, as the warm water supports their metabolism and the clear conditions allow them to hunt effectively using their sophisticated visual systems. Box jellyfish venom is a complex cocktail of toxins that affects multiple organ systems simultaneously. The venom contains cardiotoxins that can cause immediate cardiac arrest, neurotoxins that affect the nervous system, and dermonecrotic toxins that cause severe tissue damage at the site of contact. The combination of these effects can lead to rapid death, making box jellyfish encounters some of the most dangerous marine animal interactions possible. Interestingly, the transparency that makes box jellyfish so dangerous is actually an evolutionary adaptation that serves them well as predators. Transparent jellyfish are hard to spot. Their nearly invisible bodies allow them to approach prey undetected. It is this same characteristic that makes them incredibly dangerous to humans, who often cannot see them until contact occurs. Victims of jellyfish attacks have described the feeling as being branded with hot metal or struck by lightning.
I have so many jellyfish stings on my body right now, it feels like it's throbbing.
The pain is immediate and excruciating, often causing victims to go into shock from the severity of the sensation alone, even before the venom's systemic effects begin to manifest. Then after the sting comes the numbness. This progression from intense pain to numbness often signals that the venom is spreading through the victim's system and is beginning to affect vital functions. In severe cases, this progression can lead to respiratory paralysis, cardiac arrest, and death within minutes of the initial sting. Just like the jellyfish, this next sea animal also shows how something that looks harmless can carry hidden daggers. The flower urchin's hidden daggers. Rocky shorelines and surf zones represent some of the most challenging environments for marine activities, where the constant motion of waves and the complexity of the underwater terrain create numerous opportunities for accidents. An expert snorkeler learned this lesson painfully when he encountered one of the ocean's most deceptively dangerous creatures in tropical waters, a venomous sea urchin that turned a simple walk through the surf into a medical emergency. The snorkeler stepped on a venomous sea urchin while moving through a surf zone near rocks, resulting in painful puncture puncture wounds, and swelling. Sea urchins are common inhabitants of rocky shorelines and reef environments throughout the world's tropical and subtropical waters. While many species are relatively harmless, some possess venomous spines that can cause serious medical complications beyond the obvious physical trauma of puncture wounds. The said incident involving the diver occurred in a surf zone, one of the most dynamic and potentially dangerous marine environments. Surf zones are characterized by constantly changing water levels, strong currents, and rocky substrates that can be difficult to see clearly due to water movement and foam. It's said that a lack of booties and poor awareness of the environment led to this incident. The snorkeler was likely focused on maintaining balance in the moving water and may not have been watching carefully for bottom hazards. The physical trauma caused by sea urchin spines extends beyond simple puncture wounds. The spines are often barbed and designed to break off when stepped on or grabbed, ensuring that they remain embedded in potential predators as a deterrent. When these spines break off in human tissue, they create several medical challenges, including immediate pain and tissue damage, ongoing inflammation and infection risk, as well as the potential for spine fragments to migrate deeper into tissue over time. Venomous sea urchin species add another layer of complexity to these injuries. The venom can cause immediate pain that is disproportionate to the apparent severity of the wounds. It can also cause swelling, numbness, and systemic effects that may include nausea, dizziness, and muscle weakness. In severe cases, particularly with highly venomous species like the flower urchin, the venom can cause respiratory difficulties and cardiovascular complications. While the flower urchin attacks in silence, this next animal strikes with teeth, reminding us why divers must never let their guard down. The Moray eel attack. During an underwater tour, a diver was attacked by a Moray eel, nearly severing his foot. This incident represents one of the most severe, non-fatal marine animal attacks ever documented. Moray eels are among the ocean's most formidable predators, equipped with powerful jaws filled with sharp, backward-curving teeth designed to grip and tear flesh. These teeth aren't just sharp, they're arranged in multiple rows and angled to prevent prey from escaping once caught. When a Moray eel bites, its jaw structure creates a grip that becomes tighter with any attempt to pull away. This makes escape extremely difficult, often resulting in severe tissue damage. Moray eels have relatively poor eyesight compared to many other marine predators, relying instead on their exceptional sense of smell and their ability to detect vibrations in the water, so it's possible the ocean tour provoked the aggressive response. Now, Moray eels don't just bite, they often engage in a behavior called knotting, where they tie their bodies in knots to gain leverage for tearing flesh from their victims. This behavior, while fascinating from a biological perspective, makes Moray eel attacks particularly devastating for human victims. Divers who come in contact with these sea creatures risk bites if they get too close. Which of these cases do you find most terrifying? Let me know in the comments section. For more videos like this, click on this next card on your screen.